Welcome to Spotlight on Chabot. My name is Catherine Pincus, and I'm an instructor in the Business and Technology Division. And today with me I have a special guest, Jamie Dougherty, who is a health and lifestyle counselor. Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I first met Jamie in a business meeting, and she told me a fascinating story about how she became a health and lifestyle counselor. But first of all, Jamie, what is a health and lifestyle counselor?
That's a very good question. A health and lifestyle counselor is somebody that helps others with their food and how they live on a daily basis. I really focus on getting people off of sugar and to decrease their stress so they can increase their energy and fall back in love with their food and their diet and their lifestyle.
Well, that sounds like something all of us could use, Jamie. And I believe that your journey actually started in college, did it not?
It did. My sophomore year of college, I was having a number of different physical ailments, and I decided to change my diet and change my life through the food that I was eating. And if anyone says that as a college student you don't have time and you can't do it, it's possible.
And so what happened to your performance once you started making these changes?
It was amazing. I kind of went from being tired and sluggish and just kind of getting through my classes to having a tremendous amount of energy, which I would just study more.
And you did exceptionally well, didn't you, as you went through school?
I did. You know, the year I was diagnosed was tough, but as I came out of it, you know, by senior year I was kind of exactly where I needed to be. So.
Excellent, excellent. And so this is applicable, I know, in the business world, and it certainly is applicable to somebody who's a teacher, but both for students and then for other individuals who might be in athletics. Would this also be helpful for people in sports?
Oh, absolutely. What I do is applicable to every single person in every kind of lifestyle. It's about finding the foods that feed you the best.
And you know, it's interesting. I've met a couple of people who've been on your diet, and I only see them at a regular breakfast meeting, but they seem to have lost weight. And they seem to look healthier, and their skin looks really good. Are those byproducts of what's happening?
Absolutely, absolutely. I try not to focus on little tiny pieces of it, but more just eating better. And what happens is weight loss happens, you get glowing skin, you feel better, and those are lovely byproducts.
Well, that's part of why I invited you here today. And in trying to think of what we could capitalize on in this particular meeting, I challenged you to bring some foods that would help students study for tests, because of tests are our biggest difficulty.
Right. And
there has to be some brain food. And I see, Jamie, some things here on the table. Can you tell us about these?
Yes. Basically, it's important to know that all real food, when I say real food, I'm talking whole foods that you can place, came somewhere from either the ground or the farm, are brain foods. It's when they become processed that they kind of lose their helpful brain power, let's say. But in front of us, I have brought two different types of greens. These are Swiss chard greens, and these are collard greens. Any type of green is going to be a brain food. Broccoli, bok choy, kale, these foods are loaded with vitamins and minerals that you need on a daily basis to keep your energy up.
Okay, and what about the bananas and the orange?
Well, the same thing. When you're thinking about brain food, you want to think about fresh, right? Things that haven't been processed or changed at all. So bananas, as well as oranges, as well as any fruit, is going to be perfect for what you're looking for in terms of food to help you with a test and maintaining energy. Also, as a lot of people know, bananas have potassium, oranges have vitamin C, which are minerals and vitamins that you need on a daily basis.
So if a student were to prepare for an exam, they might cook some of the greens up.
Yes.
And then that would be, say, the night before they plan to take the test?
Absolutely. It would be the night before, but also, well, it would depend on when your test is. If it's a morning test, you'd want to have maybe some greens the night before and then a really good breakfast the day of. A perfect breakfast would be oatmeal. This is how I store my oats, just in a little glass container. But oatmeal for breakfast would be absolutely perfect. But making these the night before, the greens the night before, is exactly right.
And so do you steam these, boil these? What's the easiest way to make it tasteful?
None of the above. Do not steam, do not boil. When you boil greens, they become bitter, and that's when people think that they don't like green vegetables. What I do is actually saute up some garlic and onion in either olive oil or a little bit of butter, yes, butter, and put in, I mentioned garlic and onions, and then just chop this up, put it in with a little bit of water, put a lid on it for about 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes, and you're done. I mean, really, a sprinkle of sea salt and you're ready to go. So simple.
That sounds totally doable. And I just wanted to note here for the students that it looks like these oats are whole oats. Is that correct?
Thank you so much for bringing that up. Yes, these are whole rolled oats, and that's what you want to be getting, not the instant. When you think about instant, they've been broken down by a machine. You want your body to be the machine. So you want to get foods that are whole, like whole rolled oats.
Excellent. Excellent. And I wanted to point out that if a student is going to class, let's say they're not having their test till the second period, taking the banana or taking the oranges would be a perfect thing to have right before the test.
Absolutely. And you know, going back to brain food, if a piece of fruit wasn't enough for you, because I will admit that sometimes a banana just doesn't cut it, throwing in some nuts or some seeds. These are pumpkin seeds, which are really high in folic acid, which help with memory. Also, cashews are wonderful to eat when you need a little extra something, because they have protein as well as good amounts of fiber and fat. So that combined with a piece of fruit is a perfect snack before a test.
Excellent. And we have one more thing here on the table.
This is almond butter. You don't have to have almond butter. I just particularly love it. You could have cashew butter, you could have pecan butter, you could have peanut butter. You just want to make sure that they are all natural, meaning it's just the ground nut. And then you put that on whatever you want to put on. That on a banana, or my favorite is actually, if you're craving something sweet, is to take a date and fill it with peanut butter and eat that instead of a candy bar, and I promise it gets the job done.
Oh, that sounds excellent. Well, Jamie, I think it's wonderful that you're doing this. Are you available for consultation if someone has a particular issue?
I am. My business is two parts. I work with offices bringing corporate wellness to employees, and then I also have one-on-one consultations. Okay.
And do you have a website?
I do. It is www.jamieliving.com, JAMIELIVING.com.
And I think you also have a newsletter, do you not?
I do. I do have a newsletter, and you can sign up for that right on the Jamie Living website, which is wonderful. You get tips and recipes and self-care help, and it's wonderful.
So students, you now have some ideas about some things you can do to improve your performance. 1.5 minutes, I'd never heard that, so now I think there's no reason for me not to go out and buy these beautiful leafy greens. I love bananas and oranges, so that's no problem, and the date with peanut butter sounds fantastic.
You have to let me know how it turned. It's so good.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today at Spotlight in Chabot. This is Catherine Pincus. Take care and see you next week.